Now, today is for the youth. It's World International Youth Day all around the world. Of course, the youths, remember, when they want to do something, they do something. So the strategy for mentoring initiative and leadership empowerment, SMILE, has held its youth summit for the year 2024. The event which is set to build leadership, innovative and creative skills in the youth, utilizing technology, and also used to commemorate the United Nations National Youth Day, was held on Saturday. We'll have a discussion on that, but let's take a look at how that event went.
The Strategy for Mentoring Initiative and Leadership Empowerment SMILE 2024, which took place at the Regal Hall in Lagos, has brought together hundreds of youth, which include leaders and advocates from diverse backgrounds. The summit, organized in collaboration with the United Nations Information Center with Strategic Mentoring Initiative and Leadership Empowerment SMILE, is commemorating the International Youth Day with the theme From Clicks to Progress, Youth Digital Pathways for Sustainable Development.
We set aside this day to celebrate young people, to celebrate the Nigerian youth, because they haven't been celebrated enough. One day is not enough to celebrate them. One day is not enough to showcase all their abilities and their abilities and contributions. And I keep saying this year in, year out, we should stop seeing the youth as a problem. When we think youth, we're thinking of unemployment, we're thinking of issues. We need to change the dynamics and begin to think of them as assets, because we haven't had that orientation. That's why we've not been able to fully draw from what they have to offer us to move us forward.
One of the ideas espoused is the propagation of the teaching of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM.
What if the COVID virus was only in Africa? Do you think other people would have invested millions of dollars in a vaccine that will only work for us? It is upon us as Africans to invest in innovation. We will be left behind even in this age of artificial intelligence if we don't invest. This Youth Day is about investing in young people, invest in innovation, invest in research, invest in STEM courses, invest in connectivity.
Some of the youth speak on how they've been impacted by the summit.
The key point I've been able to hold is that the problem in Africa, the solution is not technology. The solution is our mind. When we are able to work on our mind, work on the mind of youths, work on the mind of people, then we have the solution. Because even technology itself, or AI, if you want to focus, if you want to niche down, AI is born out of the mind of humans. So basically, the solution to Nigeria's problem, or any problem we have in Nigeria, is we ourselves as humans and our mind, not technology.
And we've been able to...
The Youth Leadership Summit is to ignite the passion of young leaders to take charge of their future, lead with purpose, and contribute to a sustainable world.
The next one. Go.
Yeah, that's what we'll talk about now, and we'll discuss that with one of the individuals there, the organizers of that SMILE Youth Summit, the Director, United Nations Information Center in Nigeria, Mr. Ronald Kayanja, joins us virtually now from Abuja. Mr. Kayanja, well, do I say congratulations for a successful event you had on Saturday, but tell us, what's this SMILE Youth Summit about, especially when we look at it being sustained?
Thank you for having me, and happy International Youth Day to all those who are youth in age, but also youth in mind. So we want to achieve three things for this Youth Day. One, celebrating the young people who are doing a lot of work with digital innovation in the digital economy to make us succeed in the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. So that is one. There are many young people around the world, even in Nigeria, who are coming up with a lot of innovations in many fields, supporting the digital economy, supporting the transition into the digital economy. So that is one. We are celebrating those young people. The second thing is we want to highlight that these young people need to be supported. Look at Nigeria with a median age of 18. it means half the population, more than 100 million people, are below the age of 18. What does that mean for the future? A future that is increasingly digital. The digital economy is invading every area of our lives. And if we are going to achieve the goals for development, we must be very active. There are so many young people who are digital natives, as we call them, but there are so many who are excluded. So our second point about today's celebration of Youth Day is that governments at all levels need to support young people to develop their skills, to become actors in the innovation field. I know that the Ministry of Communication and Innovation and Digital Economy has strategies and plans, but we don't see these at state level. And then you have a problem of some states doing well. I know Lagos, for instance, is positioning itself very well as an innovation hub, not only for Nigeria, but around, for Africa. But I also know that in some states are so behind. Do we have digital economy strategies at state level? At federal level, yes, we even have a strategy on AI, but do we have that at state level? Do we invest enough in innovation? Do we invest enough in STEM education? If not, we will have a problem of having our young people left behind. So that is really our second message. The third message is that the digital economy also comes with its dangers, including the dangers, the concerns we have about cybersecurity, the concerns I have mentioned about exclusion. In Nigeria, for instance, you have about 30 to 40%, depending on the state, of people who are financially excluded. But we know that there are so many digital platforms that can aid financial inclusion. And many African countries, actually, financial inclusion is 90%. A lot needs to be done there. Other issues are, for instance, with the advent of AI, the loss of jobs that will happen, but also the opportunities for jobs that will come. So there are those. So the third thing I'm talking about are the threats we should know about if we don't strategize around the digital economy, which we should work on as governments, as organizations, as academia, and all people to support the young people to become integral parts of the digital economy. So this is what the International Youth Day of 2024 is focusing on.
Yeah, well, I see that's what is captured in the theme, from clicks to progress, youth digital pathways for sustainable development. And you did note that the federal government does have programs, but it seems the states, sub-national levels, you don't have a lot of programs. But I mean, one may even ask, how effective is even the programs that the federal government has? How much of it really touches the youths who are staying in states and in local government, even those with brilliant ideas?
Exactly, that is the concern. It's one thing to have all these good initiatives at federal level, but until you have the state level involved deeply in these programs, it will become difficult. I'll give you an example. I've seen some work being done by a governor in Enugu, bringing young people from various places to a digital hub within Enugu city. That's a good development. I've seen what Lagos State is doing. Lagos State is actually becoming a tech hub. That's a good development. But I don't see that in other states. I don't see that in Kwara. I don't see that in Jigawa. I don't see that. So there are many young people all over the country. The call is for the state governments to start investing in the digital economy. It starts with a strategy. It starts with a plan. The young people are there. Most of these universities are teaching computer science, computer education, and so on. All over the country, you have the ingredients to start your digital economy at your level, at state level. I think the key issue is now focusing on it. And if there is anything we are going to achieve from International Youth Day this year, is for us to get the awakening of the leaders at state level to invest more in the digital economy, because this is the present and it is the future. If we don't do that, we'll have so many of our young people left behind. And as I say, you have half of the population below 18 years. These are people are coming up, they are growing. They are facing a global economy that is largely powered by the digital economy, the fourth industrial revolution. We can't afford to be left behind. We have to invest there, invest in STEM education, but also have strategies. You should have plans. How will this state integrate in the digital economy? We are not seeing much of that in the States, and I hope we will see it going forward.
So we see, of course, that attention now is mostly on ICT, digital, and all of that. But when you take a closer look at a lot of states in Nigeria, first of all, you see the governors talking about the issue of funding and the demand for the fund that they have. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, you see agriculture dominating, the resources, agriculture in the different areas. Now, how do we connect these youths who have their eyes on the digital world now? How do we connect them back to agriculture?
Let me first give you an example. The government of Nigeria wants to reach out, because of the cost of living crisis, to a number of families. I read that the Minister of Finance is trying to reach to 15 million households. What I've seen is that they've reached 4.3 or 4.5 million households. And we understand that about 10 million households don't have bank accounts. So it is becoming hard for the government to reach out to them. But we have digital solutions that, you don't need to enter a bank to have an account. People have bank accounts on their mobile phones. A huge percentage of Nigerians have mobile phones. So mobile banking or financial inclusion shouldn't be a problem in this day and age. But to address it, we need to invest in it. The agriculture you're talking about has advanced. We are talking of smart agriculture. There are digital solutions to excellent agriculture where you get most profits. Healthcare, education. I don't know when you went to school. By the time I went to school, there were no smart boards. But now you find smart boards. But in not everywhere in the country do you find students studying with new technologies. That is the investment we need to make. So the digital economy affects all areas of our lives. It affects agriculture. It affects health. What it helps us is to leapfrog, to move faster, to achieve our goals. It affects even transportation. It affects the supply chains. It affects everything. So we need to invest in it, to invest in innovation, because it affects every area you are talking about and helps us to move faster.
All right, Mr. Kayanja, thank you so much for your time. And once again, happy International Youth Day. We know the United Nations is driving this, and we hope that you would help us move this message to the states, as you have suggested, so that we'll see more activities. Right there, the Director, United Nations Information Center in Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.